regard, defamation cases as maybe the most important or the most profound cases there are, because we only get one reputation, and you don't get a second chance once it's destroyed. To have your reputation destroyed is really to ruin everything about you. It ruins you, it ruins your family's view of you, it ruins your neighbor's view of you. You go to a party, you don't know who's looking at you sideways because they heard, you're a this or you're a that. It is an extraordinarily difficult thing to live with. And for that reason, when we represent defamation clients, it really is the most profound type case we could be handling.
Welcome to the JAKIB Halftime Show presented by Bucchetto & Lentz. I'm Devan Kaney, joined by Marc, Farzetta. We are coming to you live from the gallery inside Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. We will be joined by John McMullen live from the link in just a bit. But first, Marc, let's break down this first half. Eagles lead the 49ers 21-7 in the NFC Championship Game. What you expected, not what you expected. I know there have been many frustrating moments, especially on the offensive side of the ball for the Eagles.
Yeah, certainly. It took them a minute there to get it together, but they finally did. I mean, obviously, they were the benefactor of a lot of missed calls in this game, but bottom line is the Eagles responded to the adversity, and really that's what they've done all season long. When a challenge has been in front of them, they found a way to overcome that challenge. This time around, it was the San Francisco 49ers helping them out a little bit on that 14-play, 75-yard touchdown drive capped off by Miles Sanders there. Kenny Gainwell had a few good runs on that play, on that drive as well, but really that's what we were waiting for, and I got to give credit to you, Devin, because I believe it was you on social media saying, 21-7 should be more indicative of what this score should be, and this game should be, and sure enough, moments later, it was 21-7.
I just have to say, I've actually had several kind of psychic moments for this game. Earlier this morning, I tweeted, I want Hassan Reddick to make Brock Purdy quit football, and what do we know? In the first quarter, Brock Purdy is not playing football, so I don't know. And I did tweet that the Eagles should be up 21-0, and they're up 21-7, so we'll take it. But
close enough. But the Eagles in the early goings of this game really looked confused as that game went on. Then they were able to steady things for themselves, take advantage of those penalties, get that long drive. And I did lean over to Gunnar in our green room and I said, this is where you need that long drive to kind of just squash any momentum that the 49ers were building up. And sure enough, the Eagles were. It was only a matter of time. When Josh Johnson's your backup quarterback and he's finally in this game, they were able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, so let's talk about these offensive issues. Do you blame more Jalen Hurts just not throwing the ball too accurately in the first half, making some bad decisions there? Play calling was a little weird. It seemed like once they started finally getting things going, with like 2 minutes left in the first half, they were running the ball more, which is not what I expected against this 49ers defense. Yeah,
and they were running the ball more north and south than they were to the outsides, which was east or west, so that was a good thing. Yeah, the game plan was a little questionable going into this game, but I do give a lot of credit. Let's not forget, as every Eagles fan I think was willing to acknowledge going into this game, you are facing the number one defense in the NFL, and they have certainly shown themselves to be that throughout this game.
Well, we have John McMullen joining us now live from the link. John, talking about a bit of a frustrating first half on the offensive side of the ball, especially for the Eagles. Tell us, what are your thoughts? How's the energy down there? What's the outlook? Are we feeling more optimistic after that last drive? 2 scoring drives, I should say, for the Eagles.
Yeah, it's really optimistic now. Obviously, 7-7 after the Christian McCaffrey 23-yard touchdown run. That was a brilliant run, by the way, showing off both of his elusiveness and power. You thought, well, maybe the San Francisco defense will keep them in the game, even though Brock Purdy left and they were down to their 4th-string quarterback. And remember, Josh Johnson, I think he came in December 4th somewhere, so 23, I had to look it up, 23 roster moves since he came into the NFL. He's been on 14 different teams. He's been on the Sacramento Mountain Lions, about 5 different minor league teams as well. So that is not an optimum position to be in for the 49ers. But it was really their defense. On the drive, the 14-play, 75-yard drive, Miles capped it off with his 13-yard touchdown run. They had 3 different defensive penalties on that drive that kept extending things for the Eagles. So a little bit shooting themselves in the foot from San Francisco. Then Josh Johnson makes the big mistake, just dropped a shotgun snap. Eagles are able to get the turnover, and Boston Scott takes it in from 10 yards. But remember, he was also going to lose yardage, and they had another defensive penalty, the face mask penalty. So 4 over those final 2 drives, and right now it doesn't look like Brock Purdy's going to come back in the game. Josh Johnson is not equipped to come back from a 2-touchdown deficit. It's 30 minutes to Glendale, guys. I mean, it's going to be really, really tough for San Francisco in the second half. And oh, by the way, I can't forget to mention Hassan Reddick. He completely wrecked this football game. The sack of Brock Purdy, which injured Brock Purdy as well. You never like to see players injured, but it was a clean play by Hassan Reddick. 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and John, you hit the nail right on the head. I feel like when you talk about those penalties there by the 49ers, this is known as a very well-disciplined team, obviously a very well-coached team. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves throughout this season. So I'm going to go ahead and venture to guess they're not going to have those same types of penalties in the second half. So what would you like to see from the Eagles offense going forward?
Well, I think right now it's about managing the football game and understanding where San Francisco is. So you're not going to give up big plays. You got to tackle. Obviously, Josh Johnson's not equipped to throw it all over the football field. So they're going to run a lot of the short stuff to Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. Hope they can break some tackles. Just got to tackle well, just got to finish. And offensively, just keep those drives. The more drives you have, the more times you convert on third down. They should be able to close this relatively easily with Josh Johnson in the game. Let's be honest.
John, talk to me about Jalen Hurts, because he made, I don't know if it was maybe poor decision making. He had a few throws that seemed a little off accuracy-wise. How's his play to you? Do you think he can improve anything going into the second half?
Yeah, I don't think he played a great first half from a throwing perspective. But again, the great thing about Jalen Hurts is you've seen it with the 2 turnovers by San Francisco's quarterbacks. The first one by Brock Purdy on the strip sack by Hassan Reddick. The second one where Josh Johnson just dropped the football, the shotgun snap. One thing Jalen Hurts has done all season is protect the football better than the opposition more often than not. And that's the story of this game right now, really. Those 2 plays, the 2 turnovers, the double positives as Nick Sirianni calls them. And now San Francisco's in the worst position they could be. They did not want to play from behind in this game, and they're behind by 2 touchdowns going into the second half.
Well, hopefully the Eagles can hold this lead, if not expand on it going into the second half. John McMullen, thank you so much. That does it for our JAKIB Halftime Show. John will join us again for the Pondley Hockey post-game show coming up right after this game ends, hopefully talking about an Eagles win and an Eagles head into the Super Bowl. For Marc, Farzetta, I'm Devan Kaney. Thanks for tuning in.
Regard, defamation cases as maybe the most important or the most profound cases there are, because we only get one reputation, and you don't get a second chance once it's destroyed. To have your reputation destroyed is really to ruin everything about you. It ruins you, it ruins your family's view of you, it ruins your neighbor's view of you. You go to a party, you don't know who's looking at you sideways because they heard, you're a this or you're a that. It is an extraordinarily difficult thing to live with. And for that reason, when we represent defamation clients, it really is the most profound type case we could be handling.